Hey everyone, welcome back to our Big Coins dealer. Today, we're diving into something that has been sparking interest among collectors and numismatic enthusiasts: the 2019 Lowell $quarter coin and its potential market value. This unique coin is part of the America the Beautiful series, which celebrates the rich history and landmarks across the United States, and it has gained quite a bit of attention since its release. First off, let's talk about the coin itself. The Lowell Quarter was released in 2019 as a tribute to the Lowell National Historical Park in Massachusetts, which played a significant role in the Industrial Revolution. This coin features an image of a mill girl, representing the female textile workers who contributed to the growth of the textile industry during that time. The design captures the history and spirit of Lowell, making it a favorite for collectors who appreciate both historical and artistic significance. Now, let's get into what you're really here for. How much is the 2019 Lowell Quarter worth on the market right now? The value of these coins can vary depending on a few factors, including the condition of the coin, its mint mark, and whether there are any unique characteristics or errors present. These factors can make a big difference when determining if the coin is worth more than face value. The Lowell Quarters were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with each mint producing slightly different versions. Philadelphia and Denver mint marks, represented as P and D, were more widely circulated. Coins from these mints in typical circulated condition tend to hold a value close to their face value of 25 cents. However, if you find one in mint state or uncirculated condition, it could be worth a bit more. On the other hand, the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins, which were not intended for general circulation. These proof coins are usually of higher quality and can be worth a few dollars each, even without any significant rarity. The real excitement for collectors often lies in error coins or coins with unique features. With the Lowell Quarter, there are a few errors that have been found, and they can definitely increase a coin's value. Some of the most notable errors include die cracks, doubled dies, and off-center strikes. A coin with these types of errors can be worth significantly more than a standard quarter, with values potentially reaching anywhere from a few dollars to over $100, depending on the severity and visibility of the error. For example, a double die error, where part of the design appears doubled, can be especially valuable to collectors who prize these unique features. Grading is also an important factor in determining value. If you have a Lowell Quarter that appears to be in pristine condition, you might consider having it graded by a professional grading service. Coins with higher grades, such as MS65 or MS67, can command a premium on the market, especially if they come from a less common mint mark. A high-grade Lowell Quarter could potentially be worth several dollars or even more to the right collector. For those of you looking to sell, the best places to find buyers for these coins include online auction sites like eBay or numismatic marketplaces like Heritage Auctions. If you believe your coin has an error or is in particularly good condition, listing it with high-quality photos and detailed descriptions will help you attract collectors willing to pay a premium. Always make sure to do some research on recent sales so you have a realistic idea of what your coin could sell for in today's market. In summary, the value of the 2019 Lowell Quarter largely depends on the mint mark, condition, and whether there are any errors present. While circulated quarters are usually only worth their face value, mint state or proof versions, as well as error coins, can be worth more. So if you come across one of these quarters, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Thanks for tuning in today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more coin and collectible insights. Let us know in the comments if you've found any Lowell Quarters or have had any interesting finds with this coin. We're diving into an exciting topic for coin collectors and history enthusiasts alike. We're talking about the 2017 Ellis Island $quarter coin. We'll explore its background, design, and most importantly, its current market value. So if you're wondering if you have a valuable coin in your collection, stick around as we break it all down. First, let's get into the background of the 2017 Ellis Island Quarter. This coin is part of the America the Beautiful Quarter series, which was introduced by the United States Mint to honor national parks, historic sites, and monuments across the country. Ellis Island is a key piece of American history, as it served as the main entry point for millions of immigrants between 1892 and 1954. This quarter, minted in 2017 with AP Mint Mark for Philadelphia, celebrates that legacy and honors the island's role in shaping America. Now, let's take a look at the design. The obverse, or front side, features a familiar image of George Washington, which is standard on all quarters in the America the Beautiful series. It's a design we've seen on U.S. quarters for decades, making it a comforting and recognizable part of this commemorative coin. The reverse side, however, is where things get really interesting. Here we see an image of an immigrant family at Ellis Island, standing in front of the iconic building that many recognize as part of the Ellis Island National Museum of Immigration. The image captures both the hope and uncertainty faced by immigrants as they embarked on their journey to a new life in America. So, what about the coin's current market value? Well, this is where things get a bit more detailed. In general, the 2017 Ellis Island quarter is worth face value if it's circulated or has any significant wear. However, collectors are often looking for uncirculated or high-quality versions of these coins. If you have a 2017 Ellis Island quarter in mint, or near mint condition, you might be able to get a little more than face value. Typically, these coins sell for around $1 or slightly more if they're in exceptional condition. Now, if you're lucky enough to have one in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially if it's graded by a professional grading service like the Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, its value can increase. Coins graded as MS-65 or higher are more valuable. For those of you new to coin collecting, MS-65 is a designation that refers to a coin's condition, with higher numbers indicating better quality. A 2017 Ellis Island quarter in MS-65 condition might fetch anywhere from $2 to $5, but it doesn't stop there. Some coin enthusiasts and collectors look specifically for unique errors or variations. On occasion, error coins, such as those with double die or off-center strikes, can be worth significantly more than a typical coin, even if it's from the same series. The value for error coins depends on the type and extent of the error. But if you have a 2017 Ellis Island quarter with a noticeable error, you could be looking at a value of $10 or more. Let's talk about coin rolls and uncirculated sets. Some collectors buy rolls of these quarters or purchase them in uncirculated sets from the U.S. Mint. These sets and rolls can hold additional value, especially if they've been kept in pristine condition since they were minted. A roll of 2017 Ellis Island quarters might be worth around $15 to $20, depending on demand and condition. To summarize, most 2017 Ellis Island quarters that have been in circulation are worth face value, meaning 25 cents. But if you have one in mint or near mint condition, especially if graded or part of a special set, you could get a few dollars. And if you happen to find a rare error coin, the value might be even higher. As always, when selling coins, it's best to check with reputable dealers or grading services to get an accurate idea of their worth. Market values fluctuate over time, and some coins can become more valuable as they become rarer. So if you have a 2017 Ellis Island quarter, hold on to it or consider adding it to your collection. You never know how much it might be worth in a few years. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Leave a comment below if you have a 2017 Ellis Island quarter, and let us know if you've found any valuable coins in your collection. We're going to dive deep into the world of coin collecting and take a closer look at the 1972 Washington quarter dollar. If you're a collector, an enthusiast, or just someone who wants to learn about valuable coins, this one's for you. In particular, we'll discuss the different types of 1972 quarters, what makes some of them worth more than others, and how to determine their current market value. So if you've got some old quarters lying around, stick around because one of them might be worth more than just 25 cents. Alright, let's start with some basic information about the 1972 Washington quarter. This quarter, like most from this period, is primarily made of a copper-nickel alloy. While many quarters minted before 1965 contained silver, the 1972 version does not. But despite lacking silver content, some 1972 quarters can be surprisingly valuable to collectors. Why is that? Well, it all comes down to certain unique characteristics and errors. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these mints is identified by a small letter on the coin. A quarter with no mint mark was minted in Philadelphia, while quarters with AD were minted in Denver. Quarters with an S are a little different because they were minted in San Francisco, specifically for collectors. So, we have three types of 1972 quarters to look out for: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mint coins. First, let's talk about the Philadelphia and Denver mint quarters. Most of these coins are common and hold little extra value unless they're in pristine condition. However, certain errors on these coins can make them much more valuable. Some of the errors collectors look for include double die obverse, where the design on the front of the coin appears doubled. This can happen on any coin, but certain years and mints are more prone to it, and 1972 is one of them. Another sought-after error is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not correctly aligned during minting, causing part of the design to be cut off. Off-center strikes can vary widely, but the more dramatic ones, where a significant part of the design is missing, are often more valuable. These error coins can fetch anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s, depending on the degree of the error and the coin's condition. So, what about the San Francisco quarters? These coins are also known as proof coins. Proof coins are specially made for collectors, with a high-quality finish and greater detail than regular circulation coins. While most proof coins aren't necessarily valuable beyond a few dollars, high-grade proof coins in perfect condition, especially those with a deep cameo finish, can be worth more. A deep cameo finish means that the coin has a strong contrast between the frosted design and the mirror-like background, making it stand out even more. Now, let's get into the market value. As of today, most 1972 quarters in circulated condition are only worth their face value, which is 25 cents. However, if you have a high-grade 1972 quarter, it can be worth a premium. Quarters graded in MS65 or higher, meaning they're in nearly perfect condition, can sell for around $10 to $20. Quarters in MS67 or higher are much scarcer and can fetch upwards of $100 or more at auction. When it comes to proof coins, a 1972 S-proof quarter in PR67 or higher could bring in around $5 to $10. But if you're lucky enough to have a deep cameo in flawless condition, it could be worth over $25. Of course, prices can fluctuate, so these values are approximate, and they vary based on demand. Error coins, however, can be the real treasures. A 1972 double-die obverse quarter can sell for anywhere from $50 to several $100, depending on the clarity of the doubling and the coin's condition. Off-center strike quarters vary widely in value, but if you find one with a significant off-center strike, it could be worth $100 or more. One thing to keep in mind is that grading can play a huge role in determining a coin's value. Grading refers to assessing the coin's condition on a scale, with MS or mint state coins being the highest quality. Getting a professional grading from a reputable service like PCGS or NGC can increase a coin's value because collectors trust these grades. However, grading can be costly, so it's usually only worth it for coins with higher potential value. So, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1972 quarter? First, inspect the coin closely. Look for any obvious signs of doubling or off-center strikes. If it's a proof coin, check for that deep cameo contrast. Next, consider the coin's condition. If it's uncirculated or in near-perfect condition, it might be worth having it professionally graded. In summary, while most 1972 Washington quarters won't make you rich, certain errors, mint marks, and high-grade coins can be worth more than you might expect. Keep an eye out for double-die obverse and off-center strikes, as well as high-grade and proof versions of the 1972 quarter. You never know, you could be holding a small piece of coin history worth far more than its face value. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more coin collecting tips and insights. We'll explore the factors that affect the market value of this coin and discuss some key points to determine its true worth. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. Since then, it has remained a staple in American currency, with various changes over the years. But the 1991 version, minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, is part of the series before the famous 50-state quarters program began in 1999. This coin was minted in high quantities, making it relatively common, but condition, rarity, and errors can still impact its value. First, let's talk about condition. When evaluating a 1991 Washington quarter, collectors look at the coin's condition or grade, as it significantly affects its value. Coins in mint condition, known as uncirculated or MS4 mint state, are highly sought after. These coins show nowhere from circulation and often have a glossy finish. If your 1991 quarter is in MS65 or higher, it may be worth around $5 to $15, depending on demand. On the other hand, quarters in circulated condition, meaning they've been used in everyday transactions and show some wear and tear, are typically worth only their face value, 25 cents. However, even a circulated coin can have added value if it has unique characteristics or errors. Speaking of unique characteristics, coin errors are another key factor in the value of a 1991 quarter. Some errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or other mint mistakes, can make a coin highly collectible and valuable. For instance, if you have a 1991 quarter with an off-center error, where the design isn't perfectly aligned, it could be worth anywhere from $5 to $30, depending on the severity and demand for that specific error type. Another example of a valuable error to watch for is the double die error, where parts of the design appear to have been stamped twice. This type of error, especially when noticeable on inscriptions or Washington's profile, can increase the coin's value significantly, sometimes up to $100 or more. However, these errors are rare, so it's essential to carefully examine your quarter to see if it has any unusual features. You may also notice a small letter on your 1991 quarter near Washington's ponytail, either a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver, indicating the mint that produced the coin. While both types are common, collectors may pay a small premium for quarters from one mint over another based on personal preferences or collection goals. However, this premium is usually minor and doesn't drastically impact the value unless the coin is in mint condition or has an error. So, what is the current market value of a 1991 Washington quarter? For the average, circulated 1991 quarter with no errors, it's worth just about 25 cents, as these coins were minted in large numbers and remain easy to find. However, if your quarter is in uncirculated condition, it could fetch a few dollars, depending on the grade. Coins with clear errors, such as an off-center strike or double die, can sell for tens or even hundreds of dollars at auctions, depending on the rarity and demand among collectors. If you're hoping to sell a 1991 quarter, consider having it professionally graded if you believe it's in mint condition or has an error. Graded coins often fetch higher prices because buyers are confident in their authenticity and quality. You can also check online marketplaces like eBay to see what similar coins have sold for recently, giving you a real-time idea of the current market trends. To recap, the 1991 Washington quarter's value depends on several factors: condition, mint errors, and collector demand. In circulated condition, it's worth face value. In mint state, it could be worth a few dollars, and with significant errors, it could command much more. Always remember to examine your coins carefully and consult with a professional if you believe you have a valuable piece. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the value of other coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We're diving into the world of the 1994 Washington $quarter coins to find out if you might have a hidden gem in your pocket change. You might be surprised to know that certain factors can make these common quarters worth more than face value. So grab your quarters and let's see if one of them might be worth a bit more. First, let's cover a little background on the 1994 Washington quarter. In 1994, the United States Mint produced millions of quarters at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. These quarters were made with a copper-nickel blend, which is standard for coins made after 1965. They're not made of silver, but that doesn't mean they're not valuable. Sometimes, a seemingly ordinary quarter can be worth more based on factors like its condition, errors, and special features. So, what makes a 1994 quarter worth more than 25 cents? Let's start by talking about the basic factors. Condition is key when it comes to coin collecting. If your 1994 quarter is in pristine condition, meaning it looks almost uncirculated and shows very little wear, it might be more desirable to collectors. This is often referred to as the grade of the coin, with higher grades fetching higher values. Grading is done on a scale from 1 to 70, with coins graded in the higher 60s being extremely valuable. For example, a regular 1994 quarter in circulated condition, meaning it has been used and shows wear, is generally worth face value. However, if you have an uncirculated coin in excellent condition, it could sell for a couple of dollars or more. Some 1994 quarters that have been graded by professional grading companies in high mint state conditions, like MS-65 or MS-66, can fetch anywhere from $5 to $20, depending on the buyer. And if you're lucky enough to have a quarter graded even higher, like MS-67, you could be looking at a coin worth between $50 and $100 or more. Now, let's move on to something that can make any coin truly valuable: errors. Coin errors occur when there's a mistake during the minting process, and collectors love unique or rare errors. For the 1994 Washington quarter, some known errors include off-center strikes, double dies, and die cracks. An off-center strike is when the design on the coin is misaligned, and part of it appears off-center. This can increase the value significantly, depending on how off-center the strike is. For a 10 to 15% off-center strike, you might see values around $10 to $20, while more extreme off-center strikes can go for even more. Another valuable error to look for is a double die. A double die occurs when the design is imprinted twice in a slightly misaligned way. This doubling can be subtle or dramatic, often seen in details like the lettering or the date. While double die errors on 1994 quarters aren't extremely common, if you happen to find one, it could be worth anywhere from $20 to $100 or more, depending on the clarity of the doubling and the condition of the coin. Finally, let's talk about die cracks. A die crack happens when the die used to strike the coin has a small crack, resulting in a raised line on the coin's surface. Collectors sometimes value these as unique features, especially if the crack is pronounced. The value of a die crack error can vary greatly but generally adds a small premium, anywhere from a few dollars to $20, based on the extent and location of the crack. If you're really hoping to find a valuable 1994 quarter, it's worth investing in a magnifying glass or loupe to inspect your coins closely. Pay attention to details like the date, the word Liberty, and even George Washington's face, as that's where many errors tend to appear. Let's do a quick recap. A regular 1994 quarter in circulated condition is likely only worth face value. However, if you have one in high mint state condition, you could be looking at a value between $5 and $20. For coins with errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or die cracks, the value can range from a few dollars to well over $100, depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. In conclusion, while not every 1994 Washington quarter is going to make you rich, it's always worth checking. You might be holding on to a piece of American history that has extra value due to its condition or a rare error. So next time you're sorting through your change, don't just toss those quarters aside, give them a closer look. Who knows, that quarter in your hand might be worth a lot more than 25 cents. We're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting, specifically looking at the 1965 Washington quarter and discovering its potential value on the market today. If you have one of these quarters at home or you're curious about what makes this coin special, stay tuned because we're going to break it all down. Let's start by setting the scene. The Washington quarter has been an iconic part of American coinage since its introduction in 1932, designed by John Flanagan in honor of George Washington's 200th birthday. But by 1965, something significant happened in the world of coinage that makes this particular year interesting to collectors. In the early 1960s, the U.S. was facing a shortage of silver. Up to that point, quarters, like dimes and half dollars, were minted with 90% silver content. But due to rising silver prices and increasing demand, the mint decided it was no longer practical to produce quarters in silver. Starting in 1965, Washington quarters were minted from a copper-nickel clad composition instead. That shift from silver to base metals marked a significant change for U.S. coinage and turned 1965 quarters into a milestone in numismatic history. Now you might be wondering how much a 1965 Washington quarter is worth today. The majority of 1965 quarters in circulation are only worth their face value of 25 cents. However, there are a few special cases to consider. First and foremost, the holy grail of 1965 quarters is one that was accidentally struck on a 90% silver planchet. These coins are incredibly rare since they should not have been produced at all. In other words, a handful of 1965 quarters were accidentally minted on leftover silver planchets from 1964. Because of this unique error, silver 1965 quarters can fetch thousands of dollars at auction depending on the coin's condition. For example, a high-grade 1965 silver quarter could sell for upwards of $5,000 to $10,000. If you believe you have one of these silver-era coins, it's essential to have it authenticated by a professional grading service. Now, let's talk about regular 1965 quarters. As mentioned, these coins were minted with a copper-nickel clad composition and produced in huge quantities. The vast majority of 1965 quarters have minimal collector value beyond 25 cents, especially if they are heavily worn. However, for collectors, condition matters. Coins that are in pristine, or mint state, condition, meaning they show no signs of wear and retain their original luster, can be worth a bit more than face value. For instance, if you have a 1965 Washington quarter in mint state 65 condition, which is considered a high-grade coin, it might be worth around $5 to $10. If it's graded even higher, such as mint state 66 or 67, the value could rise to between $25 and $50 or possibly more. But remember, these values only apply to coins that are nearly flawless, with minimal scratches, marks, or other imperfections. Another key factor to consider is whether your 1965 quarter has any unique varieties or errors. While the 1965 quarter doesn't have as many varieties as other coins, minor minting errors can increase a coin's value. For instance, coins with off-center strikes, double dies, or other noticeable minting errors are collectible and can add to a coin's market value. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins with unusual characteristics. So, in summary, a typical circulated 1965 Washington quarter isn't worth more than face value unless it's in exceptional condition or has a notable error. But if you're lucky enough to come across one of the rare silver 1965 quarters, you might be holding on to a small fortune. The key to determining its value is to have it authenticated and graded by a reputable service if you suspect it could be silver or in high-grade condition. If you're interested in coin collecting, it's always a good idea to educate yourself on grading and minting errors, as these are factors that can significantly influence a coin's value. Joining coin clubs or reading about numismatics can be incredibly helpful as you explore the hobby further. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button for more content on coin collecting and coin values. Share this video with others who might be curious about the value of their old coins. We're diving into a fascinating piece of American coinage, the 1983 Washington quarter dollar. If you've got one of these in your pocket or your coin collection, you might be curious to know its value and what makes it so special. We'll break down why this particular quarter has become a must-have for collectors, and we'll cover what factors influence its worth on the market today. The 1983 Washington quarter is a common circulating coin, minted in Philadelphia. But here's where it gets interesting. Most coins minted from this year were heavily circulated, meaning they often show signs of wear and tear. That wear can make finding high-grade, uncirculated 1983 quarters quite challenging and therefore valuable. Unlike other years, the U.S. Mint did not release official mint sets in 1982 and 1983. So, if you want to find high-grade examples of this coin, you'll have to rely on coins pulled from circulation, which makes them rarer and highly desirable in pristine condition. Now, let's get into values. If you have a regular circulated 1983 P quarter with typical wear, it's probably worth around face value, so 25 cents. However, if you have an uncirculated or high-grade example, things get much more interesting. A quarter in mint state, meaning it has not been circulated and shows minimal signs of wear, can range anywhere from a few dollars to upwards of $20 or even $30, depending on its grade. For example, quarters graded in mint state 65 or above by a grading service like PCGS or NGC are known to fetch prices in the $20 to $50 range. The rarer and better preserved the coin, the more value it's likely to bring. High-grade examples in mint state 67 or above are particularly scarce and can bring prices closer to or even above $100. Beyond high-grade coins, error coins are another key factor in driving up the value. Some 1983 P quarters may have striking errors, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubling on certain features of the coin. These error coins can significantly increase in value, sometimes fetching prices well over $50 to $100, depending on the rarity and type of error. So if you have a 1983 P quarter with any unusual characteristics, it may be worth having it professionally evaluated. If you're looking to sell a high-grade 1983 P Washington quarter, options like coin dealers, coin shows, or reputable online auction sites are your best bets. Be cautious when using online marketplaces and make sure you're familiar with the buyer's or seller's reputation. In summary, while the 1983 P Washington quarter may look like just another coin at first glance, its scarcity in high grades and the potential for errors make it a collectible worth paying attention to. Common circulated examples are typically worth face value, but high-grade or error coins can fetch impressive prices ranging from $20 to well over $100. So if you have a 1983 P quarter, take a closer look. It might just be more valuable than you think. We're diving into the world of Washington quarters, focusing on a specific year that holds a lot of intrigue for collectors and investors alike: the 1965 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has a long history in American coinage, beginning in 1932. However, the 1965 quarter stands out because it marks a turning point in the materials used to make these coins. Prior to 1965, Washington quarters were made from a 90% silver alloy. However, rising silver prices prompted the United States Mint to change the metal composition of the quarter in 1965, switching it to a copper-nickel clad composition. As a result, the 1965 quarter is the first in a long line of quarters without silver content. What is a 1965 Washington quarter worth today? For most quarters from this year, the answer is that they hold primarily face value of 25 cents, especially if they are in circulated condition. Because these coins were made in such large quantities, they are not particularly rare. Over 1 billion of them were minted, so finding a circulated 1965 quarter isn't difficult. In circulated condition, these coins usually aren't worth more than their face value, which is 25 cents, but there are exceptions. If you have a 1965 quarter in uncirculated or high-grade condition, it might be worth more. Uncirculated coins that have been well preserved over the decades can bring in around $1 to $5, depending on their quality and the collector's demand. Coins that grade very high, particularly those in mint state, can fetch between $5 and $20. One of the most valuable varieties of the 1965 Washington quarter is the rare, silver error quarter. Some quarters from this year were accidentally struck on the old 90% silver planchets instead of the new copper-nickel ones. This happened because silver planchets were left in the minting presses when production switched to the copper-nickel material. These error coins are exceptionally rare, making them highly sought after by collectors. If you happen to have one of these rare 1965 silver error quarters, you could be looking at a significantly higher value. Depending on its condition, a silver error quarter can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In fact, one in excellent condition can sell for over $8,000 in auctions. To identify a 1965 silver error quarter, you can weigh the coin. The copper nickel-clad quarters weigh 5.67 grams, while the silver planchet quarters weigh around 6.25 grams. If your 1965 quarter is heavier than the typical copper-nickel version, you might have an error. Coin.in conclusion: most 1965 quarters won't bring in a big payday. They're interesting for historical reasons but tend to be worth face value unless they're in pristine condition or a rare error variety. If you're hoping to find a valuable 1965 quarter, keep an eye out for those silver planchet errors and uncirculated high-grade coins. With a little luck and a sharp eye, you might just find a hidden treasure in your collection.